Kenosha police hunt suspect with gun after 2 dead, 1 injured in unrest. Investigators were investigating whether the shooting was linked to militias guarding a gas station. Kenosha police are looking for a suspect seen on video with a long gun on Wednesday after a shooting on Tuesday night killed 2 people and injured a third. The deadly violence erupted on the third night of civil unrest since Jacob Blake, a black man, was shot at point-blank range by city police, who have since become partially paralyzed. Officers responded at around 11:45 p.m. on Tuesday to reports of gunfire and multiple gunshot victims near 63rd Street and Sheridan Street. 2 people were killed and a third was hospitalized with serious injuries, the Kenosha Police Department said in a statement. Investigators were investigating whether the shooting took place following a conflict that erupted between protesters and militias guarding a gas station, Kenosha County Sheriff David Beth said. Videos on social media showed a chaotic scene after dark, as crowds appeared to chase a man carrying a gun down the street, before finally knocking him to the ground and trying to grab his gun. A bloodied man was seen with a serious injury to his arm. Another video showed a man injured in the head as crowds gathered around him to treat him. Wisconsin Gov. Tony Evers called for calm earlier Tuesday, while also declaring a state of emergency under which he doubled the National Guard's deployment to Kenosha from 125 to 250. The night before, the crowds destroyed dozens of buildings and set more than 30 fires in the city. "We cannot allow the cycle of systemic racism and injustice to continue," said Wisconsin Gov. Tony Evers, who has faced increasing pressure from Republicans to handle the unrest. "We cannot continue on this path of damage and destruction either." Hundreds of people defied Tuesday night's curfew in Kenosha, where destruction marred the previous night's protests as fires were lit and businesses vandalized. There have been 34 fires associated with the unrest, with 30 businesses destroyed or damaged as well as an unknown number of homes, Kenosha Fire Chief Charles Leipzig told the Kenosha News. "No one deserves this," said Pat Ertl, owner of Computer Adventure, which was left destroyed by looters Monday night who brought out the store with stolen computers. "It doesn't accomplish anything. This is not the justice they seek." Jacob Blake, who was shot and killed by Kenosha police several times, has been paralyzed and it would take a miracle for him to walk again, his family's lawyer said on Tuesday, while calling for the arrest of the officer who fired the shots and to the loss of others involved. Their jobs. Blake's Sunday shooting in Kenosha, apparently in the back as 3 of her children watched, was caught on cell phone and sparked new protests against racial injustice in several cities, just 3 months after the death of George Floyd at the hands. Minneapolis Police Department has sparked a larger calculation on race. Police said little about what happened other than responding to a family dispute. The officers involved have not been named. The Wisconsin Department of Justice is investigating. Blake's mother Julia Jackson said the damage to Kenosha did not reflect what his family wanted and that if her son could see it he would be very unhappy. "Do Jacob justice at this level and examine your hearts," she pleaded at a press conference Tuesday, as her son underwent surgery. "As I pray for the healing of my son physically, emotionally, and spiritually, I have also prayed even before for the healing of our country." Police fired tear gas for a third night on Tuesday to disperse protesters who had gathered outside the Kenosha courthouse, where some shook a protective fence and threw water bottles and fireworks on the officers lined up behind him. Police then used armored vehicles, and officers with shields repelled crowds when protesters ignored warnings to leave a nearby park. Anger over the shooting has spread to the streets of Kenosha and other cities, including Los Angeles, Wisconsin's capital, Madison, and Minneapolis, the epicenter of the Black Lives Matter movement this summer after the death of Floyd.